How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm here to do a review for Revenge Prevails. They were very nice to send me their first demo or EP here, as well as their first full length. The demo being Black Void Injection, and the first full length being Dark Trembling Solace, which is cool because it comes in this resealable plastic wrap. Keep it extra tidy. Okay, well, as you can see, I've got a couple things to go through. But yes, in Revenge Prevails, the members are... I think I wrote this down wrong, but I think it's Joseph, but I wrote it down as Josep. Svensson, he goes by the Sultan in the band, and he is lead vocals and guitar. And Christopher Hilarin is the drummer. He goes by Bilge Blasting Impender. It's pretty metal. Next is Ilabella Remer. She goes by Goat Witch. That's pretty awesome. And she's the bass. And Ludwig Bjork is guitars and vocals, and he goes by, pardon me if I pronounce this wrong, is Hlodyer, or Lodier. It's Hlodyer. And they are from Uddevalla, Sweden. I'm going to pretend that I pronounced that properly. They are a blackened death metal band. And honestly, they're just fantastic. So let's just start with the vocals. They've got two main vocal types. One low and one high. Both have a very familiar sound to them. Kind of mixing the styles of bands like Moker, Goatwhore, Belphegor, and even Deicide at times. Deicide? But yeah, the lows are kind of like very dark and raspy growls. They're damn good. The highs are kind of a mid to high. They're not like high, but they're like in between mid and high range, and they're just like retching demonic snarls. It's fantastic black metal vocals. I love it. They're both performed very well, and they're certainly enjoyable. Next, for the guitars, they have a very foredooming tone with just enough distortion that adds that like electrifying, thunderous rumble to it. Most of the songs are sufficiently filled with chunky, groovy riffs to keep you coming back for more. They're like chips. Like each song, you're like, "Fuck, what are they going to do in this one?" It's great. And then on top of that, they throw in some tremolos, and it's thrown into the mix to add some speed and that blackened element that you're looking for. And it's done so good. I love it. It's like the apocalypse is coming in every track. Now for the bass, Mrs. Isabella Remer. Remer? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. But for once, I actually did take notice to what the bass was doing. It did its job filling in the spaces between the guitar and the drums. The songs would definitely be missing out without her bass's presence, because the bass is somewhat noticeable once you actually like take a second and listen in for it, and it has some very nice unique tone to it, with just a slight hint of overdrive or distortion, which is great because it's not just clean and it's not over distorted bass. You get just a nice little hint of it in there. It's good. And every once in a while, it even has given its chance to shine out a little bit amongst everything else going on. And I'm kind of glad that I could actually pick up on what's going on there, because for the most times, I don't know why, but I just cannot for the life of me pick out what the bass is doing. But for this time around, I was able to actually pick it up. It's not set too quiet in the mix. It's like it has its own like little tone to it. It's not just like your just low frequency blah 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 blah. It's actually like if most bass tones in a record is like just this low rumbly tone, and then there's like a mid tone, her bass kind of sits somewhere here, like not quite halfway between the mid and low, but like you can hear it and it's good. And like I said, it has a perfect little sprinkling of distortion or overdrive to it. Good stuff. Now for the drums, they're not too overpowering. They sit great in the mix as well. The double kicks are definitely on point and seemingly done with ease. Dude, your calves must be just like fucking steel. And the every fill that's done is like slick and adds a nice personal touch to each track. The snare was a little quieter than I would have liked. Not like super quiet or buried in the mix or anything like that. It's just slightly quieter. And it had a great tone and pop to it, and that's probably why I felt it was quiet. I wanted to hear a little bit more of that snare. That it was like it sounded really good. It wasn't like that annoying little pang 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 thing you hear in some bands. It's not just like that little raspy like snappy thing you hear in some black metal bands. It had a decent tone and a nice pop to it. So, also, I also really enjoyed that tingy metallic noise that the drummer got from the bell on his ride. Besides just the splashes and the crashes and the hi hat and everything, he also had that like little ting 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 like every now and then, and it definitely made it literally more metal, and it added that extra little flavor. And I can easily say that Revenge Prevails wouldn't be the same band without the bilge blasting impender. So, kudos to you, man. My overall thoughts on this, once again, just very reminiscent of bands like Moker, Deicide, Belphegor, Goatwhore, and I also thought it kind of reminded me of like early GoreRotted, or as they're known now, the Rotted. I kind of had that feel to it a bit, vocally, guitar-wise, drum-wise, and stuff like that. Definitely very impressed with everything they're doing on every instrument, the song structure. I'm impressed with the catchy hooks and the grim atmosphere and heaviness that they had. One thing I did notice though, the demo EP was slightly louder than the full length when compared side by side audio wise when I was listening to it. Like when it went from the last track on this being Betrayed by the Sacred to Revenge Prevails, the song. It definitely it dropped a teeny bit when I went to this one, but not like super duper like anything really to complain about. It's just something that I noticed happened. Nothing drastic though. Great tracks on both releases. Definitely do not skip if you're going to buy some of their stuff. Do not skip picking this up because the very first track is very Moker, and I don't know if you guys know Moker or not. I'll try to provide a link to what they sound like, but it is fantastic. The very first track on this, Bloodstained Paradox, is awesome. I think I also really liked Betrayed by the Sacred. And the track Everyone Will Burn in Hell is, I love the title of that track. It's an excellent beginning to their band. The full length is also quite lengthy. It's 10 tracks. Fleshless Spectre being a bonus track they threw on. One of my favorite tracks on there is probably Mind Flayer or Decayed Dreams of Heaven. The Decayed Dreams of Heaven is fucking amazing. I love that song. But yeah, just make sure you set some time aside though when you listen to their full length, because it is quite lengthy. Haha. And none of the songs are under the 5-minute mark. It's a rampaging beast that you want to grab by the fucking horns and ride it through the whole way to the very end from hell and back. It's just, you want to spend some time listening to this album because it's worth it. You're not always sure what you're going to get. The like I said, the crunchy riffs and the grooviness of it is sweet, as well as the blackened tremolo and atmospheric kind of things that they throw in there as well. And then having the dual vocals, like the lows and the mid-range highs, like the black metal vocals and the death metal vocals, just taking turns doing their thing. It definitely doesn't miss a beat, and it definitely doesn't leave you wondering when the fuck is this going to end, because you don't want it to. By the time I was done, I'm like, man, I was going to put it on repeat a few more times, even though I was done writing up the review for this. So, yeah. Needless to say, I'm Jesse Morgan, and I would buy these albums by Revenge Prevails, even though they were gracious enough to send me copies free of charge. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Not just, as musicians, but as, generous dudes sending me this free of charge. You definitely didn't have to. And when I get some money, I'll try to pick up your shirt, because that looks pretty sweet too. Cheers.